Test house. So that turned out. Okay, let's see how the audio is. So I'm gonna go to game audio so far. Okay. Alright, OBS updated. Just want to make sure all my scenes were completely destroyed because the OBS has a tendency to do that. Frames look like they're fine. I'll close that off. Okay. Let's get in position here. Alright. Previously on The Literary Bear, we did patch 2.3, The Defenders of Eorzea. That was our Tuesday MSQ stream. It's now time for a Thursday MSQ stream. Once again, starting out a little bit earlier than we might have done, which I'm actually quite appreciating. It means I get to bed at a decent hour. This episode, we're going to be going through as much of 2.4 as we can. It looks like it's pretty long just going by the quest list, so we might have to break this one up into 2 parts. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, let's continue this. We are a story-based channel. Once again, let's gather around the campfire and see what we can find out about what's going on in Ishgard, looks like. It's called Dreams of Ice. Presumably Ishgard's going to be important. Try as I might, I cannot share a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Asians, Eorzea is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and I singularly loathe to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphino has entrusted countless matters of import in your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. I just noticed something interesting in the background here. So obviously the Waking Sands, right, got invaded. There was this whole thing. It looks like whenever they moved to this one, the Rising Stones, they built her little escape hatch. Which I don't think ever comes up in the story, but that's kind of cool that that's here. It should probably be a little bit more hidden than this, but I think that's quite a nice little little deal. They're shockingly blue. Very, very blue. Things over here stabbing stuff. A dazzling floral arrangement. Each blossom a peerless beauty in her own right. Ah, the blessing and the burden of an overactive imagination. You're flipping knives and shit. It's like a teenager. What is it, Ursa? Do be concise. I am rather busy. You within the hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants full attention. Given its a sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilbert. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, sir.
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Reborn of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
Okay, I was not actually expecting that to be voiced, but that was kind of cool. We got to hear the voice of Ilbert, I believe, for the first time. Sadly, not the last. Sorry. Spoilers, I suppose. Yeah, that was interesting. Saving a little bit of time to talk here. Let's go to the Hall of Flame. Ivy. Traitor in the midst. Wouldn't it be, I mean, I'm hoping that it is, just because it is called literally Dreams of Ice, but wouldn't it be somewhat hilarious if I made the thumbnail Ishgard? The title, very Ishgardian themed, and then we don't set a single foot in the snow this entire episode. We just chase around traitors in flames. That's the entire thing we end up with. So that would be quite funny, and not impossible. Voiced? You can usually tell it's voiced by this lighting. See this lighting?
Well, well.
Yeah.
What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Reborn. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Ilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Ilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monitarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
suppose I should probably unmute myself, huh? I hear fireworks. Trying to figure out where they're coming from. The Moonfire Fair event is going on for the next weekend. We'll probably do that on our bonus stream on Sunday, assuming we have to. Those events typically don't take very long to do, and they're usually quite fun. So, anyway, back to the MSQ. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, but one misstep will cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones and report to Commander Levelier. It's very strange to me he keeps calling him Commander Levelier. It's not a... This is another thing I associate with Alpha now. That is a chunky chicken nugget. Look at him. Wow. We returned from Uldar, Commander. See, it's a subtle thing, but I could tell this one wouldn't be voiced because of the lighting. The lighting on the voice cutscenes, if you notice, is it's a skosh more, it's like more cinematic and a little bit darker, whereas the lighting in here is a little bit more standard engine. I'll say it better. Not a moment too soon. Something has happened. Trouble. You recall the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. God damn it! According to the report, one of our best has been taken captive. Guardians are not wont to treat their foreman with dignity, and that will have grave fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves to our field. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Guardians with more captives. Yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Captain Hildebert has the right of it. I trust you are willing. But of course you are. Now, Elaine of the Fourth lies in wait in the Tangle, near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out and she will apprise you of the situation. Now, the Crystal Brave's entire questline is very interesting because Alphado has the funding and the education and the strategies in order to make this endeavor technically feasible, right? But he lacks a lot of the real-world skills that he would need to command a unit of this size and scale and scope. He just doesn't have that, right? So it's an interesting way of things play out for everything, really. Okay. You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Lights. Now time is against us, so allow me to brief you on our situation. The Guardian fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and hauling her away into the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we were, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Guardians may be interrogating Resh, or worse. With her hurts, I fear she will not long survive their attentions. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is strong as mithril. None of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate the Castrum Sentry. Please help us find Resh before it's too late. Infiltrating the Castrum. Gonna blow it up like last time. Still moving, so that's a good sign. Where am I? Resh, thank the gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now to quit this accursed place, Resh cannot move with these wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. Might be trouble you to provide one. Given your reputation, I suspect the Guardians will be only too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the castle, you should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. Ooh, I'm always down to kill some Guardians. Let's do this. Killing some magic tech vanguard. Fire! Really quite enjoying Black Mage, I gotta say. I know I play it pretty much exclusive. You know what? We've been playing Black Mage for the last couple episodes. Let's go ahead and give Dragoon a shot. I haven't been Dragoon in quite a while. Might as well give it a little bit of love. A little bit of Dragoon love. Seems fitting, given what we're about to be doing as well. I didn't think that was light. I was like, why the third one? Taking like the least amount of time to do. What I thought, sir. Yeah, Dragoon is quite fun. I feel like I haven't played it in a little while, so like I said, might as well give it a little bit of a chance here. Oh, brief little update too. I usually do this at the beginning of the episode, but I just remembered. We were able to get the Scholar/Summoner up to level 51, meaning we are capable of doing the job quests for those, which is pretty exciting. We will probably next bonus stream do Rogue and Marauder unlocked. Sorry, Warrior and Ninja unlocked. That'll be all the jobs unlocked. And then after that, I'll probably do Scholar and Summoner. This makes sense to continue doing those in parody for their stories. I have waited for your return with most anxiety, most anxiously, my friend. You've done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Resh is safe, and we suffered no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission success to Commander Levalier. I shall go on ahead to the Rising Stones. Wee. We'll say I did miss that from being a Dragoon, just being able to wham! Backflip and shit. Very cool. Oh, it's because I'm hitting no. I'm like, why am I not entering the door? Gets up the door, refuses to turn handle. That's about what that amount to. Sure, best, yeah. Real quick, Travis. 2 glamour plates. I think I have some winter clothing, but I don't think I've yet assigned it to a Well, definitely not that. That's definitely not winter clothing. Closest thing to it's going to be this. That'll work. That looks slightly warmer. Ah, it does me well to see you thus returned. Though I doubt not your prowess, entering an enemy stronghold is generously considered to be a risky venture. I must confess to have been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission as you are wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert administrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Ursa. Allow me to thank you also, Scion. Rest owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see to it that my men keep their wits about them. It may take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Ursa, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Quarthus. I have been granted an audience with an Asgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you are ready. Hey, it's like we are going to Ishgard after all. That's exciting. Okay. I'm blessed with a rare opportunity, Ursa. Audience with the ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We are to treat with Sir Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader wields tremendous power, political influence. We would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Aymeric wishes to meet the man beyond the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request her permission to accompany me to Quarthus. Mayhap you feel this to be a waste of your talents, which can doubtless be put to noble use. If so, I shall remind you that you are more good can be accomplished with a stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. No, I'm with you. I mean, that's not incorrect. Like, you know, essentially, you get to the point of like killing something, or assuming it's not for survival. Fighting in that way, it just means you've already failed at all other options, right? Like, you should be good at it if you need to be, but probably try the other things first. Otherwise, you're just putting band-aids on broken arms. Meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it is a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of aesthetic disturbance or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alphinaud believes your presence may help him to secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny him. Is he meeting us here? Antecedents, I take it Ursa has explained the situation? He has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Asgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Would that I knew. The question of their motives is one which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Abalethia's Spire, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eorzean alliance formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall of some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience, who withdrew from the alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed in the Battle of Silverchair Skies. It's a lot of exposition. Since which time, their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Carteneau, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall, as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why not? Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction. I should hope so, rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past. This time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiating table, so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths. The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Indeed. You may be assured that I will be expound upon that point to the others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Ursa. Our old friend Lord Harshaphons is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further integrated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fondness may prove useful to our cause. He's also just a good guy, sir. I'm gonna remember that when he hands you Coco later. Spoilers, I guess, but fuck him. Oh boy. Let's make a quick stop. I could have sworn that I did get some, oh, come on. Did I ever put them in the thingy, though? Maybe I didn't. Jumping. That's the Ramu Extreme. You guys were curious why that one was over there. And we'll probably do that later, but there's no sense until at least my wife gets home, because she'll be the one to kill the thing, I'm sure. Ah. Well, then it ended in failure, but they got some levels up, which is nice. Let's see if we're capable of doing the flag mission yet. I need more middle. Have any middles that are high enough level? Need to reduce rights. You've got a lot of middle though. There. We'll train these two. Where is it? There. Yeah, that should do it. So that'll be done in an hour. Which should sync up well with our strategy. Okay, let's see what I have available in the glamour plates. That was my beach outfit, if I'm being honest. Let's see here. What seems appropriately snowy? Helmets we're not that worried about. I guess I didn't buy the winterized clothing that I wanted. Well, that's okay then. We won't worry about that just yet. But next time, we'll make sure we get some winter clothes where we're going to. And now we're going to be frozen to our lance. My vendor container's back? No. About 2 hours. Gotcha. Okay. Sorry if I spaz around a lot. If y'all think I spaz around a lot on controller, you gotta see me on a mouse. I'm practically a fucking... My wife is prone to fits of motion sickness, but she sometimes cannot watch me play keyboard and mouse games because I spaz around like a crazy person and it makes her very nauseous. I cannot help it. Harshaphons? The man, the myth, the legend. Ah, Ursa, ever a welcome sight. Our hearts have been stoked blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. Gesture is most appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climates. Ah, good Master Alphino, an honor as always. Likewise, Lord Harshaphons, forgive us for yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on your aid since you generously assisted us in the locating of the Enterprise. Nonsense! Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? As for Tom may even seek to aid your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is a grave concern to all of us. With the matter at hand, Sir Aymeric arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier, but I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous of rest by the warmth of our hearth. Tongue twister there. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you an entrance and send word to the other attendees. As inviting as your hall sounds, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly just based on phonetics, but the actual meaning of it, but I'm assuming it just means an interior, because that would be what like the root words would be. Let's see, I'm trying to do this in one hand while drinking tea. Ah, there we go. Just got a cat dialogue there. This one I'm going to guess is voiced. Yep. See the lighting? What I'm mute. I'm just gonna make an assumption. Let's see.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the primal menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir Emmerich, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
Okay. Interesting. So this guy's got a lot going on. Just remember starting to make progress. To make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Happily, however, I am not. I know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Harshfont and find out what he has learned. Let's not light myself on fire. My sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends. The situation is such that we must act swiftly. If you'd be so kind as to elaborate. Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through the Boulder Downs. It was an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant, every light was slain, every crate seized. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they were gone. It would be an impossible feat without the knowledge of the route, knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Quite. We can pursue the avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Harshfont said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, sir, so you should go and inspect the ambush site in person. Excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. Dromont, I assume. Presumably. Man, it is really nice to have light for these, I will say that. Also like how with the behemoth's tail kind of almost looks like he's swimming. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Oh, minion guide. Do I have anything more suitable? Anything more suitable for a mount for a dragoon yet? Nothing dragony. The wind horse would almost do it, really. That's not very dragoony. Moving along, adventure. There's nothing for... Eh? Lord Parsifal bids you speak with us. Then you must be... Beg your pardon, sire. As you can see, the left narrow crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Old thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it, though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own, hidden away off. But pay no heed to my ramblings. Absent of proof, 'tis naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving a care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Not like myself, he was there during the attack, and not the presence amounted to much. Fucking shots fired, injured guy. Not that his presence amounted to much. Yes, more inventory management soon. Or soon-ish, anyway. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. There you are. You called to ask me about the attack, have you? Came upon them in the entrance to the hall of the Seventh Echo. Pilgrims. Seven Echoes. Pilgrims. We marked them as lost and ill-equipped for the journey further north. Our leader called out to them, and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melted snow. Just a young girl, I thought. Just a poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he have let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear. She leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek. And then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I didn't know what had happened until I saw the snow turn red. And then there was blood red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but it took a blow to the head. By the time I came to, the others were dead, and the heretics were unloading the wagon. I couldn't, I mean, they'd have killed me, so I just lay still and listened. I saw as people spoke of deliverance and resurrection. They spoke of Shiva. The timing of the chocobos. I'll tell you, that was awesome. Saint Shiva, interesting. Ah, you've returned. What news have you for us? It seems Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Who is this Shiva the heretic spoke of? Have you not read a single line of the Enchiridion, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. Now we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saint of heretics. But you say she is their patron saint? Oh no, it all makes sense now. Lord Harshafont, what was the caravan's cargo? If I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva as a beast tribe with a primal. Why else would they go to such lengths to secure crystals? I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Harshafont, you would agree to that discretion is paramount concern? Of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphinaud. Silence and Seven Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threats. Our support is a given. I will need to send word to my brethren of Reverend's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I am sure you would not miss this for the world. Absolutely not. New Primal? Let's go. New Primal? Who dis? The persistent attacks on our caravans seemed little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course, now that they have my undivided attention. After apprising Menfieli of the situation, I shall summon a unit of crystal braves to assist us. As for you, Ursa, pray join me in right-firm front. Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of House Dordander have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us to determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Drummond should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there. Good. Flying around the snow. I will say, people complain about the patch content, and it is still a bit of a slog occasionally, just having to travel here, there, travel there, travel here, travel there. But honestly, between flight and just me pacing myself more for it, right? It's actually been pretty enjoyable. We're sitting here, we started the channel 7.3. That was our first stream. Was 7.3. I absolutely could have been making better pace than this, and we're a month in, we're almost done. A month and a week or two. So, it's not that bad anymore. Yeah, but I feel like this is the one, yeah. I feel like this is the one where you want to jump down from here. Oh, not there, though. Pardon. Merci beaucoup. Scions of the Seven Dawn wish to join the hunt for Lady Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could not be better. We are all ears, Lord Trollbones. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, that self-same frozen wall which we speculated might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearances of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms other suspicions. I've heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. His sword is fucking awesome, by the way. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of crystal blades to right in front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. It would be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such was my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend, though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. There may be subtler means by which we can locate the heretics there. Mayhap Lord Drummond has one in mind? Yes, yes, excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray ask and it shall be done. Oh. Ignore that one. That was a completely unrelated quest line. Oh, Makote Bob. Nope, bacon bread. That looks delicious, not gonna lie. It seems as though we are already always one step behind. Our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed, which others have failed, but it could yet yield the same results. Fortunately, we are not without our other options. I trust you haven't forgotten the Inquisitor Guillaume. We have not. The mystery of how the heretic remained undiscovered for so long has long been in our thoughts, as the question of what steps might we take to prevent a similar breach of security in the future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whiterun Fields. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Isard's cause, he will have taken note of the movement of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Gentremont in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspects know nothing which could endanger our plans. Clever, clever, clever. And this sort of like, honestly, this is really more of a civil war, but in this case, it's more of a war of information. Misinformation is more damning than correct information. Leads to the southwest gates. Southwest gate, we shall follow through. Suppose I could have flown. But we're meant to be leading in a covert operation. I wonder what would happen if I went up there and talked to him. Just immediate failure. Oh. So this one got us a cutscene. Hey, where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall, why else? Duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... Bloody Echo, lower your voice and I'll hear you as and wipe up front. Yes, of course, the Temple Knights are in Snowplume. This is what you bring me? We already knew about. Our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels. Dead before they know what happened. Nevertheless. If you waste my time again, is that clear? Like we got him. Well, did our investigation bear fruits? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard words more clearly. Yet the few snatches you were able to make out nevertheless enlightened me. It would seem the heretics were aware of our operation, and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades and border downs are key to their plans, which means it is a key to our plans that they be routed and put to the sword. We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you have overheard, I fear that this snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of our stolen there are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It will put my mind at ease if you will consent to assist my knights with this search. I know they will take courage from the presence of such a storied warrior. Pray rendezvous with him at Boulder Downs. If Adonai is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, sir, to the lives of our allies at stake. Like how he's alternating between French chef and, like the Muppet French chef, and a backwoods Cajun bayou guy who wrestles crocodiles. Going for a dignified French knight, which is apparently not in my range. But I'm gonna continue doing it, because that's how you grow, but also because it's funny, at least for me. Kick this thing's ass, because that seems like a fun time. Those of you wondering, is there any benefit to doing this? Absolutely not. It's just fun. I really enjoyed boss battles. Those of you who've been watching a while definitely aware. Pretty much anytime I come across a boss fight like this, or I just happen to be walking by, I'll usually go toe-to-toe with it, just because I really enjoy it. That was not necessary. Number one, I just don't need the experience, but also they're not that great of an experience source at this point, so. But like I said, I very much enjoyed it. Stunned? I stunned you. How did you turn that around on me? Got reflect on here or some shit. Yeah, like this. Wham! Fallen Heretics effects. Looks like they weren't doing much charm in after all. Am I able to cross this mountain? For some reason I thought I'd reach peak before I reached the ability to stop, so my bad. I will say the Ishgard Castle is so pretty. It's just every time I fly near it, I'm like, ooh, can't wait to go see that. It's gonna be a while because I have committed to doing a a gap in between Heavensward and ARR. So once we're done with the ARR patch content, we'll do the occasional bonus stream, but we're going to mostly focus on editing till we get caught up, because I desperately need to. I have no storage space. My knight says sent word of your coming as what has happened? What is that in your hand? By the Fury, those warriors with years of service. Now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not till Asar prepares to summon an abomination. The heretics you dispatched were not sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems your traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the Guardsman's watch at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels to impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. Our Sterlinder must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Yeah, this is looking pretty either dungeony or trial-y. Time is of the essence, sir. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in the Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down for the old Sergeant. But all is not yet lost. If you lead now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Aymeric everything we have discovered. I can do that, sir. Sir. Mr. Drillmont, sir. Well, bam. Okay. Sir, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. As Commander Levalier informed, the Braves must be made aware. He's standing right over here, but sure. It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity to discover it comes when our enemy has such a disadvantage. Has us at such a disadvantage. For one though we are, though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I do not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it! This is all wrong. Isot has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl! That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. You must be given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Levalier. There have been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels, After spotting the enemy breaking the surface, but that is not all, sir. We think one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha, just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others, we're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more of a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would be an obstacle to escape. Amen. Change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay, you will go wherever the tunnel leads. If you find Lady Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You'll venture into the unknown, see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many or Papalimo will suck. No, not too many. Oh, yeah, gotcha. I see. I was trying to say, like, what is he saying there? Is he trying to say not Ida? Was it? I got it. Basically, keep the numbers small. The entrance to the tunnel, sir. It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Aemeric's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Are you able to see it? I'm not even seeing it. So I'm over here trying to look at this wall, like, where the fuck is it, though? Where they at? No. Oh. Special duties considered selected? What? Oh. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be quite long. Paladin seems reasonably thematic to enter it as. Pull back. That's almost as long. Much better, though. Do I still have? Yes. Then we'll go do triple triad over there while we're waiting. I hate order. Wow, this guy's got some very good cards. I got one. Oh, two. Can't do math. Lost one, but that's fine. That's a win. Hey, is that it? Nope. I got 3 cards. So I beat them a couple times over here, just, you know. Only so many times you can throw down. Oh, yesterday I was just doing some grinding in the area, and I happened to be fighting Mimiroon in Triple Triad. I got, like, 30 cards from Mimiroon, and not the one that I needed. So annoying. Order's not my strong suit. Neither is Chaos. So basically there's a tie. That was a fate nearby. What fate is this? Are you a boss fate? Could be. Why not, travelers? a really unsettling design, I will say. I'm sitting here looking at it while fighting it, I'm like, You see these a lot, like the first time I think you encountered them was in the Temple of Karn. But just like, looking at it at this scale, you can really tell that it's like, very gross to look at. That'll be it right here. Man, even the tank queue's taking forever for this thing. Let's try something different. Naturally, the healer queue just instant. Oh, or not. Oh. Next bonus stream, we gotta knock out some of these quests. Got so many quests in my inventory right now. Pretty music. Okay, so Snowcloak. This is the cavern system over here at the Ice Wall, the Porthos Central Highlands. We are currently progressing through to see whereabouts the heretic stronghold is within the Ice Heart. Also about to get absolutely wrecked over here. Actually, I didn't anticipate how much mobile like damage AoE style that the gunner could put on. Samurai's doing good too, but like on the move, look at how much damage these the gunner's doing. Machinist, we're calling it gunner. That's pretty much what it is. No, not one of my own kind. No, not the bear. Bear on bear violence. Door to Silence. Badass name for this random ass door. I like how he pulled wall to wall first, and now he's just like, yeah, one thing. Interesting. I wonder if this is a golem, which is fascinating because if they didn't build the golem, why is he just in this cave? And if they did build the golem, Goldemancy is actually relatively rare and not super well understood magic in Eorzea. You see traces of it, but mostly ancient. Was I meant to stay moving? I think I was meant to stay moving there. Wave. 1 minute of this freezing debuff. It's quite substantial. Yeah, the other two seemed like they were moving, so I'm gonna guess that was the scene. Oh, well. I still didn't move, so taking even more or whatever frost this is. Oh. Not that. I hate the PS5 for that. Please ignore the noise and the giant annoying fucking thing at the top there. Okay. I had to focus there for a second because we were almost in a really bad way. He walked outside of my radius. Line of sight is very important for healers, so if you're a tank, please don't walk outside of their fucking field of vision, or you will not be getting heals. Yeti. I remember this boss having very specific mechanics, but not what they are. Something to do with snowballing. I feel like you see him in like a treasure dungeon as well. That looks bad. And there are snowballs. Oh shit. Ow. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing on this boss here. Get on the samurai for the Higginbana, though. I thought you had to, like, push the snowballs at him or something. Maybe that's something else. This is my lead. Frosty's on the floor, so... Wide. Can't seem to like move the snowballs. I guess we just gotta deal with them. It looks like his breath makes them bigger. I'm about to say somebody was standing in the intersection of a couple of these. They're gonna get fucked up. Drops. Fall behind. Region him before he gets too far away. So one of the reasons why Holy is actually a healer's greatest friend, I'll talk about that real quick, is that when you think about what Holy is, number one, it's one of the best like AoEs despite the delay that a healer gets in terms of damage. One of the better AoEs in the game, but Holy is probably one of the best mitigations in the game, which is a weird thing to say if you don't think about it very, very strongly. So Holy is a stun. When things are stunned, they're not hitting your tank. And Holy can stun everything it hits twice, right? So Holy will, you can usually spam 5 or 6 Holies per like mob pool, right? That's 2 stuns for about 7 to 9 seconds total. So the tank is not taking any damage. That is an incredible amount of time. It gives you a huge amount of leeway. The only thing is, as a healer, it can be kind of difficult. You have to gauge where your tank is in their tanking journey, so to speak. So, for example, a lot of tank moves, they will use either all their mitigations all at once. They're big, like wall-to-wall pulls, right? And that's never really recommended. So they use all their mitigations. Okay, now they've wasted the mitigations, and now I'm gonna like the stun's gonna wear off, and they have no mitigations. Or if I'm paying attention and I notice that, I can be like, okay, cool, I'll use after his mitigations are over. That way he's got more downtime. More importantly than that, there are a couple of tanks. The only one I can think of right now is Warrior. Or not Warrior, excuse me, Dark Knight, that have a move that specifically requires that they take damage. So if they activate the Blackest Night, which is what that move is called, and I end up fucking him over by stunning everything, well, now he's not going to get his extra MP. So now his damage rotations are fucked up a little bit because, well, you know, Mr. Nice Guy Me decided to go ahead and stun everything so he wouldn't take damage, which again, he wanted to take damage in this case, so probably shouldn't have did that, you know? And that's just something that you learn as a healer over quite a lot of time, and nobody's expecting you to be perfect with that kind of thing in the beginning anyway. Honestly, specifically the ones where you're factoring in their mitigations and their abilities, that's pretty late game healing ability. That's not something you're going to do very often. Also, generally speaking, people don't really stress too much about dungeons. About trials they do, in raids. But dungeons, eh. Makes you wonder if this thing's like friendly to the heretics? Like, is this Iceheart's friend? Or is this just a wolf? I remember him being quite difficult. That is presumably a raid wide. Sounds like a raid wide. Yep. It's a raid wide. Quite a strong one, too. Oh, he's got that move. This. Yeah, I think that, like, one-shots you if you're not, out from under it or whatever. Okay, that is a tank buster. Sadly, I'm not a shield healer, so I can't really do much for him. Well, that sucks. I am frozen solid for 6 seconds, which is an eternity in battle. Not good. So what I'm using right now is Cure 3. It is a rare to see, very powerful healer move. People don't generally use it because it's very expensive, and they're like, well, I'll just Medica 2. And Medica 2 is good for 99% of the situations. But where your people you need to heal are pretty stacked up, you can get a lot of mileage out of Cure 3. Had to rescue him over. Alright. Got the magic stick 6. Ooh. Damn, I got all kinds of stuff for that dungeon. I wish I had been doing that as a Dragoon. That would have been, like, crazy for all these challenges. And another one. Did I unlock any actions and traits? Because I'm probably going to have to do the job quest from Heavensward to be able to get anything. Tetragrammatation. Nope. Nothing yet. And I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, I don't really unlock anything for quite a while, because I won't be able to. I might, if I'm lucky, I might unlock... Nope, probably won't unlock Stone 3. He's adorable. I'm gonna let her have the pants. She's just waiting on the pants. I hate it when they do that, but sometimes I'll just if I'm not recording, I'll just do it to spite them.
The tales do not do you justice, warrior of light. Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart. This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light.
This is such a cool scene. So, world building.
I would not.
My little fucking twiggy branch
will not.
is fucking with me.
I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time, you will come to understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
So, one of two things is about to happen. I honestly don't recall which. Either we're about to dive right in there and start fighting the Primal, or we're going to go like 5 quests and then finally be like, okay, cool, you can go fight her now. That took longer than I expected. What news, Ursa? Lots of news, actually. So Iceheart is but a pseudonym, not that it matters. That you managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of the beast, you did well to come close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap that we will find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for the fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it, too. Shall be praised, Ursa. We may yet turn the situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Siva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Benfilia and Oriange have been pursuing the archives of House Voltom, gathering what information they can on Sheba. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. It's looking like it's going to be that second option. Lots of questioning. Aw. Cool cloak. Antecedents. You came to us straight from the archives of House Home. I trust you time there proved fruitful. Would that it had. Well, Eorzea and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we will find a useful answer in the archives of House Home. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aemir might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Till the sappers confirm that a tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir. But you must understand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us reason to be prudent. I merely meant that you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Helone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Devanians? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, but unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live in the life of service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I chose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of End. It was a different time, a different era. Scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. This is why Aemeric has my respects. He's not just blindly following like the dogma that he was raised with. He's willing to adapt it to circumstances of his situation. Which I suppose I find admirable in him, and less than admirable in tyrants, which also do the exact same thing. The man is awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was a real, living, breathing woman. Of that, there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogomog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mughals god. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of one who would embody their beliefs. If it is not placing one's faith in a higher power, what is it? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have both in abundance. Can that truly be all that is required? Honestly, more or less, yes. My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte they saw used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she has destroyed it to prevent us from following that. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route. Most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlea may be able to assist us. pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take to survey the entire tunnel system. While Ophelia looks into our Aetherite problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Porthos is vast, and Ithos followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten this process. The sooner we capture Ithos followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from your working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good. I knew you would understand. Hase can appraise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Eldebert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in this investigation. The Temple Knight shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Presumptuous. There you are, Ursa. Commander Leveille instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the 3rd hail from Uldar. For a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand. Nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics had been spotted making for Danafin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. I never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Swimming through the sky. We're making pretty good time. I think we might actually be able to finish out this patch, depending on how long this questline works. We might have an injury over here. Balls. My ankle is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something, twisted as I fell. The others went to head to Danafin Pass. Heard you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. The snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. I've been to Danafin Pass literally earlier today. It's quite easy to find. Tracks lead south. Damn. Ah, these tracking quests are the worst, at least for now. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great scale beast in Eorzea. I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. That's it. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice that they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and get a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. But lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait for the merchant, and the merchant will be waiting. Be late and be left for dead. Speak for itself, does it not? That can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we can restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness of the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Hello? Guessing this is giants going to this fate, but that's very funny. You just turn around and just see a sea of giants moving towards you. It's a little Bugs Bunny cartoon, very briefly. I'm through listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with these bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with him then, if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. These places are like this in my homeland. Sacred snow-capped peaks, which blood must not be shed. Yet your lands ever thirst for blood of the fallen. By your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but beaten secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Ursa. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither? What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Aegiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alphino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We'd long to strike back against the Empire, to weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise require a very particular set of skills. Skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I will accompany you until the investigation is complete. That is a most generous offer, Lady Aegiri, one which I will gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far. Shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Ursa, let us await inside Captain Ilbud's to return for his report, to deliver his report. Especially I think we're closing in on it now, travelers. We're closing in on it now. Captain Ilbud seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Oh, this looks interesting. Also not a bad way to get some gear. Probably stick with the gold, though. Tendrils of Intrigue. Captain Ilbud, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Asgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquire their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the Flames first identified as being the Ivy's employee. From him you were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary steps to detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including Flame stationed to Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, particulars of which he should share with his benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs do not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlements. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortal. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. A relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider that in our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. Okay. You mean to say that the agent is among Rabban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? There's a most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldar was ever the most vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa Lemensa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the information of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. No. Thank you. Not so the Flames. Uldar's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies and answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Rabban faced when founding the Immortal Flames were well known. Even after he convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, had been recruiting every possible sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than that now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, public and private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simply self-preservation. Had Nail Van Darnus' ambition been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they never would have risked supplying Rabban with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the seconds attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in the like manner of the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Aymeric informing him of the success in identifying the heretics' airbedders. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald have been seen. As Commander of the Crystal Braze, my presence has been requested. Would have you accompany me, Ursa? As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. I love that Alphino always is like, don't worry, Minfilia's cool with it. I didn't care if she was, but good to know, I guess. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, we shall remain beyond our reach. Nymphilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Navaga's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Land together. It's easy enough. Oh. Yeah, because I'm level 60 now, or at least I have a 60. So I can now become a gunbreaker, as well as a number of other jobs if I wanted to. Those we're saving for a later day, though. Don't you worry, travelers. My thanks for coming, Ursa. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us the Lotus Dance. This one's probably going to be a voice one, is my assumption. Based on the lighting, yes.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So, young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Okay. There we go. A lot of intrigue happening right now. It will not have escaped your notice. The nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they'd like, but their unity means little less to the common folk. Take the Lemosins, for instance. Though Admiral Mirweb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling wooden-legged cutthroats. It's fairly accurate, actually. And likewise, Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldens scorned as swindlers who worship porn. Not that such sentiments are not entirely without grounds, of course. Take to the pillar of Uldar society, the Legi Legi, for example. But that is besides the point. The fact that there are people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one can argue that the conflict of Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega, in order to placate them and present them with something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Ursa. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ildebert at the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Corpus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. My thanks for coming, Sire. Doubtless the commander has informed you that we have amassed the Ivy. At this point, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Elaine Riel, Rabon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flame, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with the polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring Flame General himself. When he formed the Grand Company, Reborn chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed from was of no interest. The Monitors saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. It was no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Guardians especially, after the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monitors did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Riol was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monitors? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Our foremost interest to us is Riol's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Reborn attended the Council of the Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, and here she is nonetheless. On some pretense, she is up to something. Mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of Riol's guilt. But if we caught her red-handed, we shall have the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Never rely upon your eyes, sire. You have my thanks. Let us go then. Take care not to alert our quarry. The order is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gates. With me, sire. We always enter the Caroline Canopy. Meeting someone perchance, or could it be some means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. She is not on the upper floor. Try the landing below. One of mine is stationed there. She may have seen something. Infamy is her name. I shall remain here as Riol appears. Sebassong, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? Social visit, you say? How pleasant! No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger, and none bore her any resemblance. Well, let me keep you. Try to make sure it's not her here. I'm like, no, you don't really look. I mean, you're Anelizim with a mole. That's about the extent of the similarities. I don't think that's her. So where did she go? And why is my dog barking? That's a good question. I don't think my wife is home yet. It's almost time for me to get my wife. Nowhere to be seen, you say? You're sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back either. We're in the 700 ship. The Roost. How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might interest you in some Muay Thai tonic. Cup a day and use a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12s for the domes. Were it not for their unique talents, Riole would have disappeared without a trace. The Domans. So fun fact: I know a little bit of Latin just as a curiosity because I read a lot in general. One of my favorite books is the Odyssey, and I read the occasional like trashy romance novel. In flagrante delicto means caught in the act, but specifically usually referring to something illicit. Hunt leads us to the East Shroud sign. I suggest we follow Riola's example and take to the ferry to West Shore Pier. Damn. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go ahead. Shall wait you at Sweet Bloom Pier. That's gonna be over there. That's by the Lancers Guild. And I will say, like I said, going in it like this, like taking it so slowly and going through every single like detail as we go, really giving me appreciation for like knowing all the areas better. I suppose I had enough of this. Definitely not. Definitely not. Okay. Everything's probably the same, like worse. Significantly worse. Cool. Spinner card, nice. Okay. Nice Magitech book there. That'll be quite nice for our. Yeah, that jumped our stats up significantly because before that we were like level 90 or something. Superman Pier is definitely over here. I guess I could have just traveled there via teleporter. Oftentimes they want you to actually go here. And like talk to him right outside the ferry and then go there, so. Either case. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne huts. Riola is truly the one we seek. We can expect that she means to make the contact with the Garlean masters. The explanation is in order. You're no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garden Downworks have provided us with a device which disrupts these communications. We've installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Riola would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contacts directly. Yet as a well-known face in the Immortal Flame, she cannot move about Thanlin without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It is for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The others in our common sight here, comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices, render such direct communications unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Riola in the act. Tree. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the gnarls when she came. Perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. So I remember, and again, I keep saying it, but it is really nice to go through this at a slower pace. I remember being so annoyed by this quest line when I did it the first time. I was like, just put me back on the snow. But like now I'm like, they really did build this up quite a bit. I appreciate it all the more for that. Just beyond Riole is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer, an Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it, with me. All of a sudden we have lost internet. I don't know what's going on, but I went from green to red very quickly. Have anything else open? Flame Marshal Elaine Riole, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. You are unarmed, my lady, scarcely garbed for battle. If you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelves Woods? When last I looked, that was no crime. Neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I'll offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. I really thought she was gonna like whip out a lance or something to start kicking ass. Also, yeah, who doesn't have anything to hide? You know, the people who make clandestine meetings with people in the woods, despite needing to be in a country like several thousand miles away. Nothing to hide. Even a warrior of Riole's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness of her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is the hope that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Uldar will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Ursa? So the Scions seek a way into Isot's sanctum. I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. Speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. I think that might be, like, her indicating that I'm a level 30 rogue, which is pretty cool if that's the case. Because yeah, I definitely have the aptitude because I'm already a level 30 rogue, so I'm going to try to wrap this up fairly quickly because we are having some serious internet issues. Like, a couple seconds. Welcome back, Ursa. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Elaine Riole. I can scarcely believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. Pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Isot's sanctum. As you may recall, Isot used the Aetherite in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva, using the crystals she stole from the household Tom Caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual, the kind employed by the Beastman tribes, It seems likely the result would be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped. And stop them we shall. But first we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernets and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Eorzea, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution, which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise. A colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlayan. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap you could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and wait her coming. Is this Moonbreeder? It's not Cryo, because at this point in the story, Cryo's unconscious, so... I know Moonbreeder comes in at the patch content, I just wasn't sure where. Ba-ba. Matter of woman is she, I wonder? We've spoken before via Linkper, of course, but it is not the same. She's not met her, so... I know Eorzea and Moonbreeder are quite friendly. I don't know if Minfilia knew her.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Eorzea.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlayan scholar, and an authority on aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
For an outpost in aether-rich wasteland, this place is a good deal livelier than I expected. This goes to show that you never know until you know. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once. We have much to discuss. Papalimo. Kind of juggling. Steady, steady, not bad, eh? With a little more practice, I could earn a fortune at the Ruby Exchange. What was a knife? Has she been learning from Thancred? She's juggling two. She's juggling a knife, a hatchet, and a wine bottle. That's actually fairly impressive. What are these two doing? Can't wait until she gets here. We have so much to talk about. He's doing squats with Ida, and he's dying. That's quite funny.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult. And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetheryte. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Gonna say, as the one about to be flung through the fucking ether of the world with what amounts to what I'm assuming is a fucking slingshot, could we not just try to, like, go around the mountain? This doesn't seem like a great plan. I don't know that Moonbreeda's got our best interest at heart. Just throwing that out there, but we'll see. We just met her. I have already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeda described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at the Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Ursa, and I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have. But I mean, that's the thing. This is one of those things where, like, fighting monsters, sure. Or you're kind of up to your own devices at that point, yeah. But, like, in this case, you are literally just, like... you're just rolling the dice, literally. I mean, she said it, but you're really just rolling the dice. It's completely random. You have no, like, essential agency over what's gonna happen. It's just gonna either happen or not happen. You're just gonna be along for the ride. Yeah, I don't know that I like that. Snowy too. And flying down. Good to see you, Ursa. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Elaine Riol and Uldar even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from matters at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetherite. After you, Scion. They don't have a great deal of faith in this plan either, which is a little more alarming, to be honest. What if she were secretly an Ascian, like, spy? There, it's ready. Just draining all of our ether before she, like, fucking blew up the world over here. I mean, hell, think her was an Ascian spy, kind of. Huh, it worked, I think. Try tuning to the Aetherite now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. Far too excited about this lady, you know. How about you try? How about you try to tune to the Aether? How about that? This angle, I look like I have fucking beaver teeth. Just We've done all we can, Ursa. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. By the grace of the 12, you arrive safely. You must stop Aesop before she summons Shiva. And when she summons Shiva anyway, you must kill Shiva. That's basically what this is going to amount to. We kind of all know. Oh, and here we come again with the goddamn internet issue. Plus side on the recorded this a little bit. Okay. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Aesop to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual. If she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your strength will suffice, but I should encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Mabreda's experiments, but others will surely agree in this desperate time to call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Aymeric. Sir, Sir Aymeric regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read this letter to you. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not our knights who stand poised to defend her. Ursa Bersong, warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service of the greater cause. May Helone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. Akafar. Akafar. Hell of a name. Okay. Clear snowflake. Nope. Pull. Draw. Okay. That would be the one time I get an instant Q too, just to really fuck me over. Clear snowcloak. There we go. And Akafar. For as long as their nations have warred with Dravania, there have always been Ishgardians who instead chose to ally themselves with dragons. Shiva is said to have been among the first, hence why the heretics revere her as a saint. The Dysheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva with the crystals they have stolen is plain. But is this unprecedented act even possible? If so, then Ishgard, if not the entire realm, is in grave danger. That's a 15-minute queue time. Whoop. Probably don't want to do this as a scholar if we could, but I have none of the actual tools at my disposal to make that viable. Yeah, we'll do healer queue. Got the Heliquay. A long quest name, the Instruments of Our Deliverance. Alright, travelers, what can we do while we wait? Keep on that grind over here. Pretty much done with all the yellows. My tail sticking out, all kinds of weird. Let's gold saucer it. I don't think I've done any of my gold saucers today. I actually need to go claim my Cactopod jackpot as well. Get that re-rolled. I entered this weekend, I just never claimed it. Consolation? Consolation? Consolation. Someday I'll win. Okay, let's see here. Search Crackpot tickets. 3213. 3863. That's the left. Sure. 218. Sure. What is the event over here right now? Leap of Faith. Nope. I'll say, depending on the event, we might participate in that, but depend entirely on what it was. That we will not be doing. never been great at these. Actually, I'm much better at them in real life. For some reason, it just really... I'm never good at them for this. Just for the record, this is not a great source of MGP. You typically just want to do it for the challenge log. Yeah, one more go. One more go. I want to get that last challenge because I'm sure it's going to teleport me out of the area that I'm about to be in. There we go. Challenge complete. Let's queue up. Let's do this. We're going to fight Shiva. This might be a long cutscene, honestly.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Okay, so I haven't seen that cutscene in a long time. That was pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. But here we have Saint Shiva. So this is a completely different way of summoning than we have seen so far. This is a lot more akin to the magics of old. I suppose that's what Pokemon, you know, being a healer. Some of these guys have a lot of vuln stacks. Oh shit. Hopefully the other healer has a hard caster raise. It's gonna be a while though. I got it. Oh, I'm standing right underneath her. That was not intentional, but it was quite funny. It was a badass fight. Come on, guys. Vigorous, vigorous. Yeah, that was a cool fight. Give me a calm. Any comms? Yeah, one or two.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of Light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
So much going on. So, I'm given to understand from that cutscene that she has the echo. I mean, I vaguely remember that she has it before. Again, it's been a long time since I've done these quests. But yeah, she's got the echo, it looks like. I mean, certainly she's definitely heard Idol. By the 12, you're alive! I mean, of course you're alive! Why wouldn't you be? I started what? And you're certain about that, are you? You've only on some skill with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you aren't injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough, I was only asking. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Oh, but before that, you had best pay a visit to Whiteburn Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That or he's busy playing politics with those Guardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? No blood vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. Appreciate your concern. Sorry, just got caught up by the stars there for a minute. I mean, in fairness, there's a reason why the channel is also somewhat celestial themed, because I like the stars. Not you. What do you do here, random stranger? There he is, none the worse for the wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you'd be so kind. We were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Ursa to thank. Yes, you're right, of course, Sir Abe. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. There is the matter of Isar's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, or moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Mordroma, is the caravan ready. The supplies that your men have recovered have been prepared for transports, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's door. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these self-same supplies the heretics stole from House Rotom caravan? Less the crystals, which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of what was promised, but a meaningful contribution for your cause all the same. On an unrelated note, Ursa, might I trouble you to accompany to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Isar. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of them. I would never, ever think less of Hashfront agreement. But, oops. Oh, here I can just... Get pop over there. Okay. What were you thinking, Ursa? Wagering your very being on dubious theory, which might actually allow you to enter Isar's lair? Knowing full well that she had sufficient warning to complete her summoning ritual with Summoner Shiva anyway. And then engage in the abomination in mortal combat. By the Furious, it's the stuff of ballads. Battle for the ages. What that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what matters. Let's move on. So Amic wished to have words with you and Master Alfno in private. He awaits in the intercessory. Oshron's so excitable for me to talk to me again, actually. Pray go on ahead without me, Ursa. Another matter requires my attention. I shall join you anon. It's so endearing that, like, he just wants to help. He wants to be there. Someday he will be.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Oh, that's number one, a good quest line, but that's an amazing description of Aymeric that I completely forgot. The road less traveled. That is pretty much who he is. He is the one who is essentially going against the entire will of a nation to try to build something better. That's very, very good writing. It would seem that we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Isot's methods of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, would we find ourselves facing the combined might of all of Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Mercer, it's better that we continue this conversation in Bordone. Kind of feel like, yeah, we gotta make sure that Garlemald doesn't hear about this. Let me loudly talk about it in this dark alley. Oh, he's a kid. I always gotta remind myself every time I have like some sort of inconsistency with Alpha. I'm like, yeah, but he's a kid though. He's a baby. Little babushka. He's fine.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not, but full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Lot going on, lot going on. This is getting really interesting, travelers. I'm sorry. I was sitting here like fangirling everything's going on. I mean, to scour the annals of knowledge of Midgard Zoma. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? Commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Ursa, 'tis well that you are at hand. We have a problem. Rioli has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial. Apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Rioli quitting the city via the Gate of Nold, the bloodied spear in hand. She makes for Castra Meridianum, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Rioli's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. Oh, I'm a stab spear v sphere. I'll 1v1 her, let's go. I just killed a god. I'm not concerned about a woman with a spear. And no offense to her. I'm concerned with anybody with a spear. But... a 1v1 Estinian, like a god of the spear. My thanks for coming, Scion. I have spoken with the soldiers here. They said that Rioli walked through the camp not a bell ago. She walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raban's decision to keep the matter secret. Thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Rioli must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. through his instance. Instance. This wretch was with Rioli. He threw himself at us, and his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the goddamn Harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. You say that, lady, I'm guaranteeing it's not going to be as hard as you think it will be. Alright, just you and a bunch of people trying to kill you. Concerned that some of those guys in there are going to die. And I'm going to fail because they died. It's very annoying whenever that happens. There we go. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, man. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You are a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. I People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it's your God's-given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born as guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I did to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is not a fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Reborn himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirt on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin, came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we different, then? It's true, we are both mercenaries of lowly birth. It is true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it's that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. Interesting thing to say. But enough talk. We will return you to Ul'dah to face justice and people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much as a hint of remorse. As well, this sort of business is finally at an end. Friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. Must hope that we have chosen our allies more wisely than Reborn chose his. Also an interesting thing to say. Damn.
I've heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Reborn. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Pick the little Lullafell guy. Like I said, bottom 5 Lullafells. I believe this is the last quest on the line here. Captain Ildebod and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Reborn, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and praise Minfili of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Rioli in high regard. For better or worse, you will want to know how this tale ends. See, I think Rioli actually is kind of a good build-up for what Ishgard's like as a culture. Aymeric is the other half of that. It's just like downtrodden citizenry versus the lords. The sort of expectations they're in, because surely there will be bad lords, but Aymeric seems reasonable. So you get kind of the two halves of that same coin at the same time.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Reborn, Eileen lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Hebrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Hebrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Vow. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, The Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Kryl, top 5 Wallifel. But hang on, we might have another cutscene. Let's look that way. Give us a moment.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the media project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more
and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the Primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
7 hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, why you must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! One day I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, It seems beyond any one individual to make Uldar whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the Monitorists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Uldar.
The true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The Monitorists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Uldar to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Reborn to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Uldar.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both Royalists and Monitorists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Reborn, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Okay, travelers, that was a long little set of cutscenes, but that completes our journey through 2.4. I was gonna say, I got those numbers mixed up. That completes our journey through 2.4, Dreams of Ice. Icebreaker, that's actually pretty cute. So we are now fully caught up on that one. Our next quest is going to be 2.5 and the 2.55. So next week, if everything goes well, should mark the finale of ARR. And again, we will be taking a break before we go into Heavensward. We'll continue with some bonus streams here and there, but I have got to get caught up on editing or I will drown. And my computer is already drowning. Please send a life vest. Okay. Without any further ado, I will leave you guys tonight. Hope you see you at the next campfire, and enjoy the stories that come in between.